Hey guys, George here, back with another hauls video. I actually picked this up off eBay. I paid like 30 bucks for it. I should have paid better attention to the shipping costs because it ended up being kind of a lot. Like I think I spent like 30 bucks for this. I actually don't like this figure that much. I don't think it looks that good when you look up close, but the Apocalypse figure looks really cool. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find the rest of the pieces for the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure, but it is really cool. And then you got the X-23 or X-Men number 451 back there, that variant for the Toy Biz. But man, some of these Marvel Legends are really cool. Unfortunately, I don't like this X-23 that much, but I do like X-23 a lot, so I still kind of like the figure. But man, these classic Build-A-Figures and these clamshells are phenomenal. Next up is some stuff from Ron's Comic Closet, one of my favorite eBay sellers. And this one right here is really interesting. I don't know anything about it. It's from Ablaze Comics, but it looks really interesting to me. I think it's like a horror comic book, and I'm not really sure what it's about, but I'm definitely excited to give it a chance. I paid cover price for that. This next one was a cover buy. So one of my other videos I talked about like all the variants for the Aliens or Predator versus Marvel books, and man, I love so many of those covers, so I actually ended up picking up some of them. But this is the Wolverine versus Predator cover. Love that action on that cover. Really cool. It looks like they're going all out in this battle. This next one I actually picked up 2 copies of, and I haven't read it, but I really want to. It seemed like a really interesting premise when I read it. But yeah, this is Rogues Gallery, and this is the first issue. And I grabbed 2 copies of that, but this one actually looks really interesting. And here's another Predator versus Marvel cover. I just thought this was awesome. I'd actually really love to see a Predator versus Blade matchup. I'm pretty sure Blade has the edge because he has, you know, the vampire biology. But man, I think it would be a good matchup, especially if they send a group of Predators after him. It could be really good. So, love this cover art. This is probably one of my all-time favorite of the Predator variants, but this just looks really cool to me because you see both Miles and the Predator in mid-cloaking, and it just looks phenomenal. Paid cover price for this one. This next one right here, I had forgot that I purchased because I already purchased it from my LCS so I could read. But this is the Alien Annual. I can't remember from what year. Probably 2020, 2021, 2022. But yeah, I grabbed an extra copy of that one. This next one, I think I picked this up at my LCS, so I ended up grabbing it twice when I paid for it at Ron's Comic Closet. Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. This next one's pretty interesting. It's from Blood Moon Comics. It's one of the newer publishers, and it is Endangered. This is issue 2, and I haven't read this one, but I really look forward to reading it. It has a cool Starship Troopers homage cover. I think that's homaging Starship Troopers. So the next group of stuff is from a Half Price Books in San Antonio. The weird thing about that one is that they do not have bags and boards. Everything's like half cover price, so it was a huge pain to check out there, and I felt kind of bad because there was a line. And I had stuff organized too, but I grabbed a bunch of stuff and it just took forever because I guess they didn't trust me or they wanted to double check that I, put the right prices together. So they ended up going through it twice. But yeah, this one's really weird. Most of this stuff does not have bags and boards. This one was a really cool cover. I don't know who the artist is, but this is a Marvel fanfare book, and I just think that's really cool. Like a really awesome cover of Scarlet Witch holding a maybe deceased Spider-Man. And you can see the back cover right there too with Doctor Strange. And they had a ton of Green Lantern stuff there. I wish I would have been able to grab more, but the only downside of it is that they didn't have bags and boards. But really cool Batman vs. GL cover. They also had a ton of Avengers books, but I didn't grab too many. I did try to grab some of the earlier run stuff. This next one was an oddball. It was in really nice shape. I don't see any stickers or anything on it, and I paid half cover price for it. So it's Punisher issue 11. I don't think there's anything too significant about it, but there are a ton of Punisher fans, and so I feel like, especially with John Bernthal coming back as Punisher in the Daredevil Born Again series, I think there's going to be a lot more interest in Punisher books going forward. This next one was a really cool book. I think I've seen it before and I never picked it up, or I've seen some of the other issues in this series. But man, this is from Aircel Comics, so they're kind of a defunct publisher, but they have some really cool books that have a lot of really cool covers. And this one always grabs me when I see the other books of this, but I've never seen issue 1 until now. This is Warlock 5. Such a cool cover. And I'm really into these classic indies books, these 80s indies books, so I really want to read this one, probably talk about it if I can. Here's some more Green Lantern. This is Green Lantern Rebirth issue 6. This is a really awesome cover. And Green Lantern number 21, Sinestro Corps tie-in. This one right here I picked up because I don't really think these books will ever be reprinted. This is Predator versus Magnus Robot Fighter. Really cool, paid half cover price for that. And with all of the buzz about James Gunn taking over the DCU and the Authority coming to the DCU, I went ahead and grabbed this book, Authority issue 1. I don't think this is the original Authority. I think it's like a volume 2 or something like that. But who knows, there could be important things in there, and so I also picked up issue 2. This one was a really cool cover buy for me. This is Wolverine Punisher issue 2. Really cool cover art. This is one of the few books that was actually in its bag and board, and that's why I grabbed this one also. But this is a really cool battle cover, Wolverine versus Strife. This is Cable Messiah War, I believe issue 14. Really cool cover art. I'm not sure who the illustrator is here. This was another book that was in the bag and board. I don't know why, but a few of them were. So Justice League of America issue 2. This is a Michael Turner cover. Phenomenal Justice League United. Justice League cover with all the heroes united. This one right here is really interesting because it has a signature on it. So I paid half cover price for it, and with the JLA, I believe James Gunn is going to draw a lot of inspiration. He might even do a JLA book. So it's a JLA #1. And it has a signature down here. And I'm not sure whose signature that is. I couldn't read it at all. I tried to see if, maybe I could match it up with something, but I can't. So if anybody out there knows that signature and can let me know, I'd really appreciate it. And the next one, they had a ton of Hulk books. I wish I would have been able to grab more. I did actually grab quite a few, but Incredible Hulk 461, really cool transformation cover. And Ultimate X-Men #2. New X-Men number 120, Frank Daly cover. And one of the early issues of New Avengers. This is a really cool David Finch Wolverine cover. Guardians of Nowhere issue 1. I think this is a variant cover. Oh no, this is a Secret Wars, so this is from the Secret Wars tie-in. So I feel like anything Jim Lee is just, when I see it, I try and pick it up. So even though this book's really common and you usually see it in like dollar bins everywhere, I think eventually, a lot of people are going to be like, man, I love that Jim Lee art, and they're going to go after this stuff. But Superman number 211, really cool Wonder Woman versus Superman cover. This one I just thought was really interesting. I didn't even know they made this book until I saw it, but it's Authority versus Lobo issue 1. I think that's a Glenn Fabry cover. With all the interest in the Marvel books, especially because, we know the X-Men are on their way, there's a lot of books when I see them and I know they're about popular characters, or they're kind of bringing in popular characters. I picked up stuff like this Uncanny X-Men 460. This is an early issue that includes X-23 in the X-Men books. So originally she debuted in the NYX series, and I think she stayed there for a while. She didn't come over to the X-Men books until like this one, I think like 459 or something. But yeah, this is an early one, and she's in a really different costume. And here's a cool Hulk book. I think that's from the Bruce Jones run. Another early New Avengers book, issue 8. Another New Avengers early book, issue 9. Cool Century cover. This is probably one of my all-time favorite Hulk covers. You see Hulk versus the Abomination, but man, the level of detail on this cover is phenomenal. I actually think this is a variant cover, but I think it's also pretty cool. Justice League issue 9. This one right here, I hardly ever see in the wild. I don't even think it's like a really significant book, but I did pick it up. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 22. I believe this is volume 2. I mentioned there was a bunch of Green Lantern stuff. They had some of the early stuff too, like this Tales of the Green Lantern Corps. This is the annual #1. This one right here was kind of interesting. I don't know anything about it, but I know there's some interest in like the Disney books, so I picked up Hero Squad Ultra Heroes. I might have actually already talked about this book though. And here's some really cool Transformers stuff. Transformers issue 0. This one right here was a cover by, I just thought it was a really cool holiday cover. Seasons Beatings issue 1. And here's Ultimate Fantastic Four issue 23. This is an early appearance of the Marvel Zombies. One of the things I'm really interested in is like famous battles, like when Wolverine and Hulk go at it. So I actually don't have the Incredible Hulk 181 or 180. But man, that cover is so iconic. So whenever I see Wolverine versus Hulk on a cover, I try and pick them up. And I feel like this one from Ed McGuinness is just as iconic. This next one right here is Wolverine issue 1. This is from the Greg Rucka series. I actually love this storyline. This one right here is Transformers. It's an early Transformers book, Transformers Armada. This one is a Peach Momoko cover, but it's also Horizon Zero Dawn, the first issue from Titan Comics. This one right here I think is kind of an iconic cover of Mary Jane, Amazing Spider-Man 671. This one right here is an early appearance of Silk, and it's Amazing Spider-Man issue 2. I'm not sure which volume though. And for some reason I grabbed 2 copies of New Avengers issue 8. This one right here is a really cool series. I'm actually going to be talking about it soon. Marvel Universe versus the Avengers. And I also picked up this Batman Gotham Adventures issue 34. And the last 2 items are some graphic novels. So here's Justice League Volume 7. I actually really want to read The Dark Side War. This book right here I didn't have a lot of interest in until I saw a TikTok video that showed me that, Bizarro and Lex Luthor have a really cool relationship in this series, and that actually made me really want to read Forever Evil, so I picked this one up. I paid $12.49 for that one, hardcover edition. So that's it for the video. I hope you saw some cool stuff. See you on the next one.